Hey everyone, DCov13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night Remastered. Alright, so we're moving into day 2 now. Pretty ordinary start with day 1. Nothing really too strange, kind of just establishing stuff for Shiro. You know, because we're getting these first 3 days that we played as Rin, now from his perspective. So nothing peculiar has been happening yet. But yeah, let's head on into day 2. Let's see how things go from here. I awake to darkness. I guess I'm not much for dreaming. Unless something big happens, I always have the same dream anyway. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines me as, well, me. As Shiro Emiya. I don't have any dreams of my own. The only things on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me long ago. For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Put simply, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. My old man told me there's a society of mages called a Mages Association. He also told me I shouldn't ever get involved with them. The Mages Association is said to conceal the existence of magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their magecraft doesn't affect society. But the strange thing is that they don't really prohibit mages from abusing magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mages Association is only interested in concealing mystics. Even if, say, a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of magecraft, which does not mean magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems to be how that insane bunch conducts themselves. Whatever it is, the Mages Association's surveillance is absolute. Typical magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of magecraft to the world. As such, the Mages Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in their privacy of their homes, while the world is none the wiser. So mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's scrutiny and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town, and I just don't know it. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts. That probably means there's some prestigious mage of the storied history living here. They're called Second Owners, elite mages the association entrusts to watch over territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit these Second Owners first to get permission to build their workshops. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties to the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's Second Owner. So in a way, our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord. Which means the Second Owner doesn't know that Kiritsugu Emiya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family's status as mages is kind of unclear. But then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. And even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mages Association, and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I have a feeling the association want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Apparently the Mages Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found yet. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. The eyes of the Mages Association are said to be everywhere, and if someone commits a crime using magecraft, the church's heretic hunters will make their move. Using magecraft, however half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just now coming up. It's still dark out.
さすがに朝は辛いな。
I get up, trying not to let the morning cold discourage me, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while like yesterday, but that's rare. I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, so it'd look kinda bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. I cook rice and make miso soup. Yesterday the soup had daikon radish and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso soup today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bonito flakes. I make incisions into the sari fish, which will be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute. It's almost 6. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some time on my hands. So what should I do with this extra time? Morning exercise is my daily routine, so I might as well do some light workouts. There's a respectable dojo built in the Emiya house. It was added as a sort of afterthought when the house was constructed, which is why this dojo wasn't built for a specific purpose. Fujine apparently used this place as her playground even before I came to this house. But then I became Kiritsugu's disciple and started using this place more often. Fujine hated me for that for a while. There's only one thing I do here. Training to be a mage means I can't neglect training my body. One of the conditions of being a mage is maintaining yourself at your physical peak. When Kiritsugu was still alive, he and I sparred often. Well, more that he just kicked my ass every time, so I never really learned how to win myself. But at least I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I learned the difference between killing and beating an opponent, and how to conduct myself in each situation. Knowledge and experience are different. Without the knowledge to know the difference, it's hard to tell if you've gotten yourself into a fight or a massacre. It's as simple as that. Learning magecraft means there is a risk of people perishing on your own, as well as the risk of having to fight. And to mages, that means killing each other. That's why Kiritsugu wanted to teach me that I must always be ready to face death. But the person reminding me of that lesson is long gone. So the only thing I can do alone is some simple exercises. Stretching, push-ups, sit-ups, it's no different than what the members of the Kyoto Club do every morning. The only difference is in the intensity. Sakura is clearly eager in her reply. And coming in behind the ever-dependable Sakura... Fujine casually heads to the table. I need to grill the prepared fish. Sakura, 皿は真ん中のやつ使ってくれ。その方がうまく見えるから。
この表面がブツブツのですか？
そう、それ。焼き物は皿にも気を配らないと手抜かりになるからな。で、大根はもう吸ってあるから。
Sakura reaches far to take out the plates. As she reaches out, I think I see a faint bruise on the back of her hand.
Sakura, ちょっと待った。
はい、何ですか、先輩。
その手首のあざ、なんだ？
She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Her reaction makes how she got the bruise clear.
またシンジか。あいつ、妹に手をあげるなんて何考えてやがる。
違います、先輩。これは転んでぶつけちゃったんです。ほら、私鈍いでしょ。だからよく転んで怪我ばっかりしてるんです。
バカ、転んだぐらいでそんなあざがつくか。信じたやつ、どうやらまだ殴られ足りないみたいだな。
ダメです先輩。これ本当に兄さんは関係ないんです。私が一人で怪我をしただけなんですから、先輩に怒ってもらう資格なんてありません。
Sakura falls silent. Sakura may seem docile, but she's surprisingly stubborn. It's no use saying anything to her now.
わかった。さくらがそう言うんならそういうことにしておく。
はい、ごめんなさい先輩。
だからどうしてそこでさくらが謝るんだ。悪いのはシンジだろう。
The moment I say Shinji's name, Sakura awkwardly looks away. It can only mean he's the cause of the bruise on her hand. Shinji Mato has a bad habit of treating his younger sister like crap. I noticed it about a year ago. Every now and then I'd see Sakura injured, and she always made excuses when I asked what happened. When I asked Shinji about it, he revealed to my shock that he'd been the one who hit Sakura. You know, it really doesn't surprise me that a piece of shit like him would be open about abusing his little sister. I asked why, and he told me it was because she'd done something he hadn't liked. I got pretty pissed off, so I did to Shinji what he'd done to Sakura. We haven't been on great terms since then.
先輩、兄さんとはその仲直りしてくれましたか？
ああ、したよ。別に初めから喧嘩なんてしてないから仲直りも何もないけどな。
先輩にとってはそうでしょうけど、兄さんにとっては喧嘩をしたことになるんです。だからその気をつけてください。
What Sakura says strikes me as odd.
気をつけろってシンジが？
はい、兄さん先輩を目の敵にしてるって聞きました。その先輩が退部するようになったのも兄さんのせいだって。
それは違う。部活を辞めたのはシンジとは関係ない。いや、そりゃ多少はあったかもしれないけど、そんなのはさくらが気に病むことじゃないぞ。確かにシンジの言う通りちょっと見苦しいからな、これは。
I point at my left shoulder. There's a little scar there. It happened about a year and a half ago. Something fell on me during one of my jobs, injuring my left shoulder. I ended up with just a broken bone, but I also came away with a burn to my shoulder. After the accident, I quit the Kyudo club. Our school's Kyudo club, out of respect for formalities, allows students to perform sacred shooting rituals. Male students participating in this expose their left shoulder. Shinji pointed out that it may be disrespectful for someone performing a sacred shot to expose a scar, and since I was getting busy with my various jobs, I decided to quit the club.
先輩、しつこいようですけど、本当にもう弓は引かないんですか？藤村先生も怪我なんて支障はないって言ってるのに。
何を平和な。藤姉は全身骨折しようが支障ないっていうやつだぞ、さくら。
先輩、私真面目な話をしているんです。
I know I should give her a serious answer, but unfortunately I can't give Sakura the answer she's looking for.
当分は部活をしている余裕はないよ。弓は好きだけど優先するべきことじゃないし、しばらくは間を取ろうと思う。
しばらくってどのくらいですか？
気が向いた頃かな。まあ、さくらが卒業するぐらいまでにはなんとか。その時はよろしくな、さくら。
I pat Sakura's shoulder.
はい、私その時をお待ちしています。
She nods so violently, it looks like she might drop the plates. It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujine have long since left the house for their morning club activities. I went to school early yesterday because Issei asked me to, but I leave the house at the usual time today. I noticed something strange as I walked down the hill towards the intersection. Several police cars are parked in front of a house. Something must have happened since a crowd has gathered. There are easily 20 people watching. I'm curious, but the mass of people prevents me from finding out what's going on. I don't have much time, so I should hurry to school. I make it to school 10 minutes before the first bell. As I cross through the gate with plenty of time as usual, I run into a familiar student.
なんだ、まだ着替えてないのか、三綴り。もうすぐホームルームだぞ。俺に挨拶なんかしてる場合じゃないだろう。いや、ごもっとも。相変わらず釣れない野郎だね、エミヤは。
I don't know what's so funny, but she laughs heartily, not caring about her surroundings. This is Ayako Mitsuzuri. She's been a classmate of mine since we were first years, and she's currently the captain of the Kyudo Club. She's an unbelievably insightful person, and it was expected that she would be the team's next captain since her first year with them. Mitsuzuri is a precocious sort, and people have always had high hopes for her, and even leaned on her ever since she was a first year. Then again, she gets mad whenever someone mentions that in front of her, claiming she doesn't look as old as people think.
ああ、今あんた、よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったかもし。
No.
そんなものは漏らさない。あくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけだ。それで気を悪くするのは三綴りの勝手だが。
お、言うじゃん。いいね。正直に答えるくせに何をどう考えてたかは口にしないんだもの。エミヤ、シンジと違って隙がないな。
シンジ？なんでそこにシンジが出てくるんだ？
なんでも何も、あんたとシンジって友人じゃない。シンジの男友達ってあんただけでしょ。それにお忘れでしょうが、私これでも弓道部の首相なの。うちの問題児と辞めちまった問題児をくっつけるのは自然な流れだと思わない？
まあ確かに自然だ。弓道部ってのは関係ないけど、俺とあいつは腐れ縁だからな。
あ、カチンときた。あんたね、弓道部の話になると急に冷たくなるでしょ。いいご身分よね。シンジをほっぽっといて自分はさっさと退場しちゃうんだから。後に残された私とかさくらの気持ちとか少しは考えてくれてもいいんじゃない？
シンジのやつまたなんかやったのか？
あいつが何もやらない日なんてないけど、まあそれにしても昨日のはちょっとやりすぎか。1年の男子が1人辞めたぐらいだから。
Mitsuzuri sighs gravely. Seeing her look so serious is rare to begin with. The rest of her story is particularly alarming.
なんだよそれ。部員が辞めたってなんだよ。
シンジのやつが八つ当たりしたのよ。わざわざ女子を集めてね、夢を持ったばかりの子にシャをさせて的中するまで笑い物にしたとか。
What a douche.
はあ？お前そんな馬鹿げたことを見過ごしてたってのか？
見過ごすか？けどさ、首相ってのはいろいろと忙しいんだ。いつも道場にいるわけじゃないってエミヤだって知ってるでしょ。
それはそうだな。にしても何考えてんだシンジのやつ。必要以上に厳しく教えることはあっても素人を見せ物にするようなやつじゃないだろう。
呆れた。エミヤっては本当にあれだ。
あれってなんだ？今お前よからぬ感想を漏らさなかったか？
あら、私はあくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけさ。それで気を悪くするのはエミヤの勝手だね。
ついさっき聞いたような返答をしやがって。いいよ、それよりシンジはどうしたんだよ。なんだってそんな真似をしたんだ？
聞いた話じゃ 遠坂にこっぴどく振られたとかなんと。
Ah, that.
遠坂ってあの遠坂か？
うちの学校にあれ以外の遠坂なんていないでしょ。2年 A 組の優等生、ミスパーフェクトこと遠坂凛よ。
いや、そんなあだ名は初めて聞いたけど。
But it fits. It's no surprise Shinji got rejected. Knowing Tosaka, she probably had some pretty harsh insults to go with the rejection.
ともかくシンジのやつは昨日からずっとその調子よ。おかげで私もこんな時間まで道場で目を光らせてたってわけ。
シンジのやつ変にこらえが効かない時があるからな。三つ釣り大変だろうけど頑張ってくれ。
はいはい。けどね、シンジって懲りないでしょ。また遠坂に声をかけて振られた日には今度こそ遠坂本人に何かしそうでさ。
いや、いくら信じても振られた相手には近寄らないだろう。あいつそのあたりはちゃんとしてるぞ。
けど相手が近寄ってくるんだからしょうがないじゃない。遠坂さ、なんか知らないけどうちの道場をよく見学に来るのよ。エミヤは辞めちゃったから知らないだろうけどね。
That's news to me. Rin Tosaka doesn't participate in any club activities because her family forbids it or something. She even turned down nominations to be a member of the student council, so I always thought she went straight home after school.
ま、たまにはそれもいいか。あいつもお高く止まってるし、一度ぐらいは痛い目に遭うのもいいかもね。お気の毒様っていうか、ご愁傷様っていうか。
Mitsuzuri has a weird way of looking at this. Now that I think about it, they say that Rin Tosaka has a lot of enemies. I wonder if Mitsuzuri is one of them too.
おい、三つ釣りいくらなんでもそれは。
あ、そろそろ時間だ。じゃあねエミヤ、今度私の弓の調子見に来てよ。
Mitsuzuri hastily runs off.
相変わらずだな、あいつ。
I never minded just how forthright she always is. I feel a bit more at ease and head towards the classroom. It's lunchtime. Our school is quite the cafeteria, and most of the students eat lunch there. But there are some old-fashioned students who still bring their own lunches, including myself and the student council president, sitting in front of me.
エミヤ、その唐揚げを一つくれないか。俺の弁当には圧倒的に肉分が不足している。
いいけど、なんだってお前の弁当ってそう質素なんだ、一星。いくら寺だからって酒も肉も取らないなんて教えがあるわけでもないだろう。
何を時代錯誤なことを。これは単に親父殿の趣味だ。小坊主に食わす贅沢はない。悔しいのなら己で何とかせよなどという。いっそ今からでも天祖になるか。俺も考えところだ。
あのじいさんなら確かに。
Issei's father is the priest at Ryudo Temple, a larger-than-life figure who's also friends with Fujine's grandfather. Anyone who gets along with old man Fujimura can't possibly be normal.
それはそれは。じゃあいつか恩返しを期待して一つ。
I pass my bento box to him.
いやいや、ありがたく。これも托発の修行なり。
Issei bows deeply. I honestly question whether I should be reminded that he's the son of a priest at times like this.
ああ、そういえばエミヤ、朝方2丁目の方で騒ぎがあったのを知っているか。ちょうどエミヤと別れるあたりの交差点だが。
交差点？
Could it be the same intersection where I saw the police cars this morning?
なんでもな、殺人があったそうだ。詳細は知らないが、一家4人中助かったのは子供だけらしい。両親と姉は刺殺されたというが、その凶器が包丁やナイフではなく長物だというのが普通じゃない。
A long weapon. Does he mean a sword or something? If it's a murder, then that weapon killed the parents and the older sister. I can't help but imagine it. Someone sneaks in the house late at night. Unreasonable violence. A horrible nightmare the victim neither imagined nor wished for, like a traffic accident. The parents are slaughtered. The older sister falls victim without knowing what happened. A lone child in the shadows is covered in their family's blood.
一世、それ犯人は捕まったのか？
捕まってはいないようだな。信徒の方では欠陥工事による事故、こちらでは辻切りめいた殺人事件だ。学校の門限が早まるのも当然。どうしたエミヤ、喉に飯でも詰まったか？
別に何もないけど、なんだよいきなり。
いや、エミヤが厳しい顔をしていたのでな、少し驚いた。すまん、食事時の話ではなかったな。
Issei apologizes and tries to lighten the mood. I actually don't mind topics like this and didn't realize I was looking so severe. And then there's a gentle knock on the student council room's door.
失礼、竜道はいるか？
ああ、はい。何ですか、先生。
Mr. Kuzuki enters and Issei steps over to him to have a quiet conversation. Must be a casual student council matter since Issei looks relaxed. It's something I don't see every day. Issei is surprisingly shy. He keeps his distance from classmates and even teachers, but for some reason he's warmed up to the student council advisor, Mr. Kuzuki.
真面目なとこで気が合うのかも。
Soichiro Kuzuki is the homeroom teacher for Class 2A, and he's very serious and kind of weird. Some part of that is probably why he and Issei get on so well. The two continue to talk. As I watch them, I can't stop thinking about the murder. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but... Maybe the morning's conversation bothered me more than I realized. The next thing I know, I'm at the Kyudo Club.
もう何やってんだ俺。
Mitsuzuri said Rin Tosaka frequently visits. Well, that... I hadn't thought of that, but I think it'd be a problem if Shinji got violent against Tosaka.
シンジのやつ、カッとなると止まらないからな。
Shinji lashing out at Tosaka because she rejected him would be bad. Well, I don't know exactly how, but it'd just be bad.
なんだ、遠坂いないじゃないか。
Tosaka's nowhere to be found around the dojo. Mitsuzuri worried for nothing.
へえ、誰がいないって？
Oh, hey, Issei.
だから誰がいないって？
Issei, who I thought I'd parted ways with, is standing right next to me.
お前か一世、あんまり驚かすなよな。
いや、エミヤが挙動不審げに道場を眺めていたからつい。で、誰がいないって？
誰って遠坂だよ。なんでも昨日シンジと一悶着あったらしいんだ。それで一応様子を見に来ただけだ。
ほうほう、挙動不審だな。聞かれてもいないのに理由まで話すなど。俺は誰がいないかと聞いただけなのだが。
なんだよ、別にいいだろ。俺が何しようが俺の勝手だ。
うん、それはしかり。だが無駄だぞエミヤ。遠坂はここにはいない。
Yeah, I forgot today was the day that
あいつは今日ずる休みだ。
Rin had the rebound from summoning. She just walked Archer around town all day.
何？
Cut class. So she's absent?
そうか、欠席か。待て一世、なんで遠坂がずる休みなんだよ。あいつがそんなのするわけないだろ。
するとも、あいつが風邪などひくものか。俺が見たところあいつは悪いやつだ。外見に騙されるとパクッと食われるぞエミヤ。
Somehow what Issei's saying irritates me. I may not know Tosaka that well, but I don't think she's a bad person.
言い過ぎだぞ一星遠坂はそんなやつじゃないだろ
んなんだエミヤも遠坂狙いなのか。ああ、それはすまない。今のは流してくれ。
A secret crush? Like hell.
勝手に決めつけるな。俺はただシンジが揉め事を起こしたら大変だから。
シンジが遠坂に殴りかかろうとしたら止めるためか。またそんな役回りをするな。別に俺は気にしないが割と趣味が悪いのだな、エミヤは。
What are you implying here, Issei?
してないから損じゃない。けど一星お前今変なこと言わなかった？
ん？遠坂狙いは趣味が悪いってことかい？
Hey man. Some of us like.
そう遠坂は人気あるじゃないか。俺もあいつの悪い噂は聞かないぞ。
ああ、聞かないね。それがまた気に食わない。
So because there's no bad rumors about her, you think she's bad?
気に食わないってどの辺がだよ。
だから全部だよ。あれは女狐だ、女性だ、妖怪だ。とにかく生理的に気に食わない。悪いことは言わないから、エミヤも気に入らないようにしろ。
いいっせ。人の陰口は良くないってお前の口癖じゃなかったか？
たわけ、これが陰口に入るか。俺は聞こえるように喋っている。
Maybe you shouldn't, though. No wonder I sense people watching us. Well, that's a relief. I'm really glad Tosaka's absent today.
頼む一星。悪いが早速陰口にしてくれ。
うん。エミヤがそういうのなら了解した。が、とりわけ中傷していたわけではないぞ。単に竜道一世が遠坂凛を警戒していると言っただけだ。あくまで個人の趣味嗜好の範囲だろう。
その割には妖怪だとか女狐だとか言ってたけど。
Pretty strong words. I'm pretty sure minx is definitely a derogatory term.
何？褒め言葉だ。女狐にも妖怪にもいいものはいる。
Certainly have an odd way of complimenting people, Issei.
あくまで遠坂を表現する値として採用しただけである。
Use those terms to describe her in a good way. If you say so.
かつ。
Issei laughs.
それではな。俺は生徒会室に戻るが、エミヤはバイトだろう。こんなところで道草を食っている暇はなかろう。
Issei leaves calm and composed, perhaps because he felt satisfied having said everything he wanted to say. I've known him for 2 years now, but honestly I still don't get that guy. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge.
なんだまだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6 hours since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decide to rest at a park until it's time. Oh, and I think this is where he sees Tosaka on the roof, right? This park is nestled between buildings, and it's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the day or time.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of the great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It's the very place where I was saved from the brink of death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there'd be plenty of space to work on the park. I sit down on a bench and think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was so hot and I couldn't breathe. And that some people died trying to save others.
どうしてそうなのかな。
One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all the available water to extinguish their raw, parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims for their trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved, and for them to get their happy ending afterward? All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him, and said something I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けたものだけなんだよ。当たり前のことだけど、これが正義の味方の定義なんだ。
Yeah, I get that. And now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, a majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved and there's someone who didn't get saved, the burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the Champion of Justice saves are only those whom the Champion of Justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that.
それが天才ならなおさらだ。誰であろうと全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
The fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this point.
けど嫌だ。
I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire.
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうが間違いなく。
That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head.
しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
A bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry to my part-time job. By the time I'm done working, the sun is long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kinda overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about and an endless stream of cars on the road.
藤姉にお土産はいいか。
I walk along the path as I gaze up at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery, I think I see something bizarre.
なんだ今の。
I stop and try to look to the very top. I squint, trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. looks like someone I know. But I can't think why this girl I know would have a reason to be there. Doesn't seem like she's going to do anything up there. But she's just standing there looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she'd be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. Wrong. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician, looking down at the surface world with the bright moon shining behind her. And then, she disappears. Apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty, and the scenery returns back to nothing more than the beautiful night sky.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was, at least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it that I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。
Admitting it in your own head, huh? It's just... Tosaka sure is a weird way of spending our time. Unlike Shinto, there's no sign of people anywhere in Miyama. There's nobody around after 8 at night, and the town is silent and still. The house I saw this morning stands across the intersection. There are no signs of life, and a no trespassing sign hangs over the front door. In just a single day, the house has fallen quiet, almost like an abandoned building. A girl and her parents were killed by a burglar. I wonder what life awaits now for the single child who survived. I bite my lip, frustrated by my powerlessness. I promised I'd be just like Kiritsugu, but I couldn't do anything even when something like this happens so close to home. I want to help people, but I don't even know what I can do. I reach the top of the hill where my house sits. The lights are on, so Fujine or Sakura are still inside.
ただいま。あれ、藤姉だけか。
おかえりしろ。
Fujine turns towards me, munching on a rice cracker. The TV is tuned to a lively variety show.
もうまたこんな時間に帰ってきて。冬は日が暮れるのが早いんだから、もっと早くに帰ってきなさいって言ったでしょ。
だから早く帰ってきてるだろ。8時までのバイトを選んでるんだから、これ以上無茶言わないでくれ。で、さくらはどうしたんだよ。なんか晩飯の支度だけはできてるみたいだけど。
さくらちゃんなら早めに帰ったわよ。今日は用事があるからって晩ご飯だけ作ってくれたの。
Fujine cheerfully replies, "As far as she's concerned, anyone who makes her food is a good person."
そっか。確かにしばらくはその方がいいかもしれないな。最近は物騒だし、いっそ新学期まで晩飯は俺が作ろうか。
反対。シロ帰ってくるの遅いじゃない。それからご飯作ってたら食べるの10時過ぎになっちゃうよ。
あのね、そこに自分家で食べるという選択肢はないのか、あんたは。
だからここが私の家だよ。
Fujine tilts her head, puzzled. Honestly, I'm not sure if a response like that should make me happy or sad.
わかったよ。藤姉に飯を作れなんて無理なんだよ言ってもしょうがねえ。それはいいけど、足元のそれなんだよ。また余計なものを持ってきたんじゃないだろうな。
Fujine has a tendency to leave a bunch of junk here. She'll bring stuff like bowls from restaurants that are too big to be functional She'll bring stuff like bowls from restaurants that are too big to be functional, an unnecessarily heavy earthen teapot, or a weird guitar that plays itself. She must think this place is convenient storage or something.
ちょっと見せてみろ。ゴミだったら捨てるから。
うちで余ったポスターだけど。
Fujine hands me the poster. It's probably a poster of some no-name singer.
どれどれ
I knew it. It's a poster of a young man wearing a military uniform smiling with his thumbs up, all in front of a cheap-looking blue sky background. The caption on the poster in bloody font. Love's lovely Ranger Land. Come to the self-defense meetup. Hey, this is a recruitment poster for a youth group.
それいらないからあげるね。
俺だっていらねえよこんなの
I quickly roll the poster back up and try to whack Fujine on the head with it.
へへん外れ。
However, Fujine counters mercilessly with another poster she'd been holding. Conk. Her poster sword bops me lightly. I guess not lightly. Stars! I see stars!
シローの腕で私に当てようなんて甘いわよ。悔しかったらもうちょっと腕を磨きなさいね。
そんな問題じゃないだろう今のなぜに紙のポスターがかような破壊音を
She managed some sort of technique only a true poster master can execute?
ごめんごめん。こっちのポスター初回特典版なんで豪華鉄板仕様だった。
What the fuck is wrong? Don't hit someone on the head with that!
シロー頭大丈夫？
My god, this woman.
藤根いつか絶対に人を殺すぞ
It's most likely going to be you, Shiro.
へへその時はシローがお嫁にもらってくれるから安心かな。
全速でお断りですそんな天然殺人鬼を相方にもらう気はないやい
うん、私そんな物騒なのじゃないと思う。
Really?
やっぱり得てしてそういう連中は自覚がないっていうのは本当だったのか
Pray that I survive. I'll have to be very careful from now on if I'm going to have any hope of avoiding being murdered.
ふんだ言ってなさい。そんなことよりシロー私お腹減った。今まで待ってたんだから早くご飯の用意しよう。
Fujine gets up. What's up with Fujine? She must be really hungry if she's offering to help. Even if it's just help setting the table.
はいはいじゃあ藤根は皿と茶碗なご飯ぐらい告げるだろ
告げるよ。ねえシロー私丼でいいかな。
いいんじゃないか今日はさくらもいないしどうせ飯は余るし
よしよしそれじゃシローもお揃いね。
Fujine scoops mounds of rice into the two large bowls. Whatever. I was gonna go for a second helping anyway. If I meddle in what Fujine does now, we may really not have any dinner. Besides, this is the kind of chaotic scene dinner at my home has been for years. Another day ends. We finish our rowdy dinner, and after I see off Fujine, I take a bath. After that, I head to the shed for my daily training. I complete it as usual, then go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Today ends peacefully and without incident. No, and that's it for day 2. Yeah, I guess this one can be a little bit of a shorter one. Alright, so. I will end things off here for today, and the next one will continue on to day 3. Alright, I'll see you all then. Bye!